My fiancée looked me straight in the eye and said, "We're having a small wedding. Your family isn't invited." I simply replied, "Got it." Then I quietly called the venue I'd been paying for in secret and canceled everything. Her bachelorette party was in full swing when the wedding planner's call came through. I'm a 31-year-old guy, sitting here with a glass of whiskey, watching my now ex-fiancée, Camille, 29, absolutely fall apart on her friend's Instagram stories. 3 hours ago, she found out her dream wedding venue was gone. The one I'd been secretly funding for 8 months. The one she swore her wealthy dad had covered. Let me back up. Camille and I got engaged last year. It was a perfect proposal. She cried, posted it all over social media, and started planning her extravagant fairytale wedding right away. She wanted over 200 guests, a country club venue, and a luxury event from start to finish. I went along with it because it made her happy. Then, 2 weeks ago, she sat me down with a serious look on her face. "Babe, we need to talk about the wedding." "Everything okay?" I asked. "So, Daddy and I think it would be better to keep it small. Intimate. Just close family." That sounded reasonable until she listed her guest count. Parents, siblings, their spouses, aunts, uncles, cousins, around 60 people. All hers. "What about my family?" I asked. Her answer? "Well, your family is just a lot. We'd have to invite their plus ones, and it would spiral. And besides, your mom doesn't even like fancy events." My mother owns a catering business. She lived for fancy events. So she was saying my mom, sister, and grandmother couldn't come to my own wedding. When I pushed back, she brushed it off. "Don't be dramatic. We'll celebrate with them later. Maybe a barbecue. That's more their style." That was the moment I knew. But I played it cool. Camille had no idea her dad wasn't paying for a single thing. 8 months ago, she'd come to me crying that her dad's business was struggling, and they might have to cancel her dream plans. I stepped in, offered to help with deposits, and eventually paid for everything, quietly, because her dad's pride couldn't handle it. So far, I'd shelled out $23,000. Venue, catering, flowers, band, photographer, her dress she put on Daddy's card. All me, the venue alone was $8,000, refundable with 30 days' notice. We were 35 days out. So after that little talk about my family being too much, I made some calls. Venue? Cancelled. Full refund. Catering? Cancelled. 80% refund. Flowers? Full refund. My mom knows a florist. Photographer? Full refund. Band? Cancelled. Half refund. Recovered. $19,500. Then I waited. I knew she'd find out during her bachelorette party because her maid of honor, Jessica, had a final venue walkthrough scheduled. 3 hours ago, my phone blew up. I ignored every call. Now, I'm sipping whiskey, watching her cry in a Vegas hotel room while mascara streaks down her face. Jessica's screaming at someone on speakerphone. Her mom is supposedly driving to the venue to demand answers. The best part? In one of the videos, Camille sobs. "How could this happen? Daddy confirmed everything last week." No, he didn't. He doesn't even know the venue's name. I know this because I'm the only one who ever spoke to them. Her brother texted me, "Dude, what's going on?" I replied, "No clue. Your dad's handling it, right? Tomorrow should be fun." Update 1. Camille cut her trip short and came home last night. I made sure to be at my buddy Derek's poker night for cover. 5 witnesses. Solid alibi. She called me 73 times. I answered on call number 74. "Babe, emergency. The venue is gone." "What? How?" "I don't know. They said the deposit was never paid. But Daddy swore he handled it." "Weird. Did you call him?" She hadn't, because he had no idea what she was talking about. I acted clueless, promised it was a misunderstanding, and told her to talk to her dad. The next morning, I came home to find her in full-blown panic. She'd finally reached her father, who said, "What venue? I thought you hired a wedding planner." Plot twist. There was no planner. Camille told him I hired one and told me he hired one. She'd been managing it all herself and lying to both of us. Then her mom, Diane, called me privately. Have you been paying for this wedding? Why? Because I know Frank hasn't paid a dime, and Camille doesn't have that kind of money. Either you're paying, or she's drowning in debt. I admitted I'd covered about $23,000. Long silence. She told you we were paying. Yes. She said Frank was embarrassed about his failing business. His business is fine. He just bought a boat. A boat, while I was funding his daughter's wedding. Diane's response, cancel everything. She doesn't deserve it. Right then, Camille stormed out of the bathroom, claiming someone had stolen my identity to cancel the venue. She wanted to file a police report. I encouraged her to. She froze when I mentioned they'd need to see contracts and payment records, with my name on all of them. She mumbled something about focusing on rebooking instead. With what money? Update 2. Frank found out the truth. Diane showed him screenshots of Camille's lies. He was furious, not at me, at her. He called me directly. Son, send me everything. Every receipt, every text. My daughter's about to learn consequences. I sent it all. He went nuclear. Cut off her credit cards, the ones she used for her new apartment, her shopping sprees, everything. Camille showed up at my job with 6 suitcases, declaring she was moving in until I fixed this. Security escorted her out. Jessica started a GoFundMe, claiming I was an abusive narcissist who sabotaged her wedding. Diane requested a refund on her $150 donation, calling Camille a liar and manipulator. Then Camille tried to rebook the venue under a payment plan, using my stolen credit card details. That's fraud. I called the bank and filed a police report. Final update. The wedding day came and went. Camille emailed everyone in my contacts, copied months ago, to invite them to a potluck wedding at a public park, begging for cash gifts. Frank shut it down in a reply all, saying there was no wedding. But Camille still showed up, alone, in a wedding dress. She performed a full solo ceremony, live-streamed by her ex, Roger, who narrated it like a wildlife documentary. 3 homeless men came for the food she promised. There wasn't any. Police arrived because she didn't have a permit. Then she posted a live stream with captions about love conquering all, insisting I was camera shy but there in spirit. She literally married my spirit. Now she's suing me for a breach of promise to marry for $225,000. My lawyer laughed out loud. She filed it in Comic Sans. The judge dismissed everything but the fraud charge, which he faces next month. Frank even renamed his boat Not Camille's Wedding Fund. Diane filed for divorce and claimed half, including the boat. She's naming her half Karma. I threw a not getting married party catered by my mom, who made a cake with a groom running from a bridezilla and cookies of a bride behind bars. Camille still posts about our beautiful relationship and wears the ring she bought herself. We haven't spoken since security escorted her out of my office. I doubt I'll ever see the restitution from the fraud case, but every penny I spent was worth it to be free of someone who would exclude my family from my own wedding and then marry herself in the park.